Gaia TV is advertising this new series called Sacred Geometry, Spiritual Science, with this PhD who literally ripped off my entire Symbols of Power Part 4 original discoveries that I published over 6 years ago. Here, let me show you the extent.
The entire human body is a Grail cup. We will explore a key sacred geometry pattern, which is essential for recharging energy in the human body. This is the same pattern which creates the form of the chalice of the Holy Grail. It is also a key energy source from the subatomic all the way up to the galactic level, and even connects to higher dimensions. The essential practice of activating our entire energy field to become a Grail chalice for divine energies has been almost forgotten. Only when these sacred geometry patterns are directly applied to your own energy field will the power and benefit of these forms become real for you.
So this force that creates this standing wave formation, or this, basically this bi-pole, this dual toroidal dynamic that is found throughout all of nature, and of course it only occurs around electrical filaments which run on a universal scale, generated in plasma by electricity. These electromagnetic effects, either they tighten, it constricts, and it coils, which is the essence of the Hindu meaning of kundal, meaning constriction, meaning strangling or coiling. Again, as I covered in Symbols of Power Part 2 and Part 3, is the very meaning of the perineal muscles, of the anal sphincter, of the perineal muscles. Literally means is a constricting, a contracting, a constriction, which is an electric force of charge, which is, it creates strength. It's a force of electromagnetism that creates charge, which creates force and power, which is, it creates contraction, which is how all of biology functions. Electrical biology functions through musculature, is through the constriction and the contraction, which generates power. So the greater electric force, the greater electric, the structure that creates the entire physiology of the human brain. It's the structure that creates so many forces also throughout nature. It's literally the hyperboloid, which, as we covered back in the previous films, we covered the various aspects of the toroidal dynamic of the brain, and we will cover this much deeper in future films as well. But so this is the toroid, the very heart, the very core of the toroid itself, is the Z-pinch, is the hyperboloid. It's literally the Holy Grail, as literally depicted in Steven Spielberg's Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones. The correct Holy Grail was the one with the Z-pinch, which is the very same shape as it's of the rocket fuel, the rocket nozzle, which is the very same essence that creates the X chromosome of the human, of the male. Of the human cranial vault, with the same actual sutures corresponding to the human skull. And but I've gone even further, and I've actually noticed that it's fractal again, so it's not just the skull at large, it's actually literally the depiction of the diencephalon itself. Again, the two-headed bulb at the top of the staff is literally, and that's literally the exact same physical dynamic that the ancient Egyptians were depicting here with this imagery of the scarabaeus, is literally depicting the the body of the corpus callosum, which composes the dual toroidal, or the bi-pole dynamic of the forceps minor and the forceps major. Again, you have a major and a minor, corresponding again to the major aspect being the sun, the minor aspect being the moon. So of course, they have it actually, reversed here, but, or the image is actually flipped upside down. So of course, it's the same exact dynamic. The larger, the greater is the solar aspect, the masculine principle, and the lesser is the feminine, or the lunar principle. So that's exactly what they are depicting here. As I covered earlier on with the phi ratio dynamic of the lemniscus, again being solar and in phi proportion to the lunar, being the lesser. So that's exactly why they're showing the wings of the scarabaeus is literally representative of the insula, is literally representative of the very core body of the corpus callosum, showing us that either the ancient Egyptians knew a lot more about physiology and human anatomy than we have ever attributed or given them credit for, or that it's literally, this is a major cosmic universal sync of synchromysticism working its way throughout our entire body of knowledge and physics as we know it. So it's literally just could just be a universal sync that is pretty much just like too coincidental to eat like the hyperboloid on its own, which is literally, again, created by the electromagnetism. And so this has much greater significance for the diencephalon and the scarabaeus, and we will go into that in full separate presentation on its own, just for that topic alone. But so again, this is the universal hyperbolic principle that creates the Z-pinch of the intersecting Birkeland filaments, which create the X chromosome, which create, again, the hyper.
Second to none. It's just some of the most superb quality information that you will ever find anywhere. And so he had originally made the symbolic connection of the exactly identical to the scarabaeus. Sacred geometrical structure of the human anatomy, musculoskeletal anatomy, as well as energetic physiology, the way that I have done it in this presentation. So I take a lot of pride and responsibility in making that claim. And I put that out there because I published it in the book, and we'll be publishing a lot more. There's so much more that goes into this in my upcoming books that I haven't published yet. And this connection, this is only a small grain of sand on the entire beach of synchronicities and symbolism and mathematical structures of the entire human anatomy that I've mapped in all of my works that will be revealed in due time. To tell the whole story because it's important for explaining to you how and why I've made this discovery and how meaningful it was to me. So first I'm going to show you the full animation in all of its glory and let you take in and absorb it for yourself, and then I'm going to fully break down every single explanation about it after the full visuals.
is going. Sinking feeling, spinning around again. It's chance, a mess with people would stop to
it's a very sentimental and a very rough. So much just fine detail work I've been putting in for months. Daily routine and all my daily life. This was reasons why it became too hard for me to continue, and so it was a deal with. In a thumbnail image on the YouTube channel, sports athletic system, as until I saw this muscular system and genetic expression. And so the more perfect the DNA health and the genetic expression is, the more, and which itself is just from the root word of torsion, because the torso is what allows us to twist, and it is the element of twisting, which is where we get the word torque from, which is the root word of the torus, which is the root word of torsion, because it's everything is made up of electromagnetic torsion field.